The Way Forward by Young Pueblo. Be honest with yourself about where you are going, how you want to feel while you are heading there, and who you want to be when you arrive. Every moment is a destination, an opening for space for growth. The end goal should not distract you from taking each step with intention. You are seeing the results of your commitment and the power of your courage. The fact that your mind feels lighter shows you that you are moving in the right direction. You are entering into a better life where your reactions are less intense and your mind has more flexibility and determination. Everything is not perfect. There are still challenges and times of struggle, but you are learning not to let the down moments define you, and you are more gracefully embracing change. The inward journey has sparked your evolution, opened your perspective to a new level of clarity, and each connection you cherish now has new depth. But the journey is not over. You prepare yourself for another period of growth with your highest goals in mind and the truth you feel. Your inner wisdom will show you the way forward. Existing. There are times when all you can do is survive. Moments when growing doesn't even seem like an option and healing feels hundreds of miles away. The trauma of old hurt can weigh down so heavily that all you can do to try to stay afloat to endure another day. If existing takes every ounce of your energy, then that alone is heroic work. People who have revived themselves after almost drowning in trauma do not get enough credit. Even though the pain was massive, they did not stay stagnant or become bitter. They knew the only way out was the path of healing, and they used it to start a new life. Unpopular truth. What's meant for you will sometimes feel scary, risky, and new. Ease and calm don't always mean you're moving in the right direction. The biggest rewards usually come from having the guts and perseverance to create your own path. I thought the trauma had broken me, but really it gave my life direction. The toxicity made me embrace communication and honesty. The manipulation made me realign with my own power. The narcissism showed me that selflessness is needed. The chaos taught me to build boundaries. The hurt showed me that healing and rebirth are possible. The magic happens once you accept that you can't regulate others' emotions or experiences. That's when you begin to live your most authentic life. Some people will not get you, but what matters is that you get you. Be kind, help others, and don't forget to live life for yourself. It is normal to feel down, tired, and emotionally exhausted when you are going through a big transition, especially when you have to let go of something good for the chance at something better. Great changes are not meant to be easy. They arise to inspire your growth. Maturity is realizing that half of what you want to say does not need to be said. Being able to see the difference between ego reactions and helpful points that can uplift harmony or reaffirm your values makes a real difference. Speak your truth does not mean speak your ego. Life will distract you and pull your sense in different directions. But within you, there is a clear compass that points relentlessly towards the freedom that you have been seeking. Not the unfulfilling freedom of excess or being without responsibility, the true freedom that comes from knowing your mind and body so thoroughly that wisdom reveals itself to you. Embrace the silence. Don't fight what arises. Accept the waves of change and let insight unlock truth after truth until you finally experience undeniable liberation. 9 things that hold great power: rest, kindness, meditation, vulnerability, healing yourself, being honest with others, embracing lifelong growth, fostering deep connections, and giving without wanting in return. It is only heavy because you are deciding over and over again to carry it. Embrace change. Loosen up your sense of identity. Let yourself walk a new path. You do not have to ignore or erase the past. You just have to wholeheartedly embrace the present and move on. Emotional maturity is not about being above your emotions. It is about being able to sit with the rawness of every feeling without letting it take over your mind and actions. It is about facing storms without getting blown away. I got lost while trying to survive. My mind was busy fighting itself. My energy was focused on acting as if I were stable. My heart felt clogged up with old pain. The struggle continued until I realized that dwelling on the past would never change what happened. Slowly, my attention shifted to the present. Accepting myself gave me back some of my energy. I began to carve a new road, one that would lead to better things. Along the way, I found the parts of me that I had misplaced. As I was busy building a life that supports my peace of mind, healing gave me a guiding lesson. To continue moving forward, I simply need to treat myself and others with gentleness and honesty. Love is much bigger than relationships. Love is the way you heal yourself, the kindness you give others, the gentleness you give yourself in turbulent times, the space you hold for close friends, the intention which you live in the present, and the energy that changes the world. Love is every moment that elevates the human experience and all the small things that make life shine. Manage your reactions, but do not suppress your emotions. Even after the love was gone, we hung on to each other because we wanted to avoid the sting of heartache and the hard work of rebuilding our lives. We let it drag on so long that the time felt stagnant and the colors lost their brightness. The mismatch was evident. The fights were exhausting. Patience felt overstretched. Until the day came when it was time to face the hurt. The tears ran freely. The sorrow felt explosive. A major chapter was finally closing. Just as a star explodes in grandeur, our parts produce the energy to begin again. It took this great loss for both of us to eventually feel fully revitalized. The clearest red flag is if they continuously bring out the worst in you. The hard truth is that a connection doesn't automatically lift you up. Sometimes it aggravates the roughest parts of your old conditioning and brings things to the surface in an unhealthy way. When someone doesn't know how to process their own tension, they project it onto whoever is closest to them. It is easier to place the blame on others than to see yourself clearly. Proximity breeds tension because egos are rough. The friction between egos ignites unnecessary arguments. Don't let the storm limit what you can see. Light is bound to appear again, especially because you can change things. These heavy feelings are but a short note in the history of your life. It is easy to forget the depth of your power when everything feels rough. You have already overcome so much to be where you are now. Tough moments are common before a great victory. Lean on the fact that you are more than a survivor. You are more than your past. You are more than what hurts. Old habits do not define you. You are a hero who is ready to emerge. Your transformation will inspire others to do the hard things they need to do to thrive. Even if this moment is a struggle, you will always start again. I used to see my past as a hindrance. All of the mistakes I made, all of the failed relationships, all of the pain I was carried, all the pain that I was given that I never wanted to carry. At first, I wanted to forget these memories, to scratch them out of the book of my life. But now I see, even though my story started heavy, that did not stop me from finding my inner light. My sadness was a motivator. My pain became my teacher. If you listen closely to your heart, it will say, there is a better way than this. All you have to respond is, show me, I'm ready. You have to be willing to admit when you have lost your way. It is normal to lose sight of what's important, to stumble and take a few steps backwards. A long journey is never a straight line. Gently telling yourself the hard truth is the best method for realigning and getting back onto the right path. Intention is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. It sets actions into motion and gives them a direction. Words get their energy from the intention we place into them. If you want to reclaim your power, start by being intentional. I want to love everyone without judging them, without placing anyone on a scale of better or worse. To first see the good in people and treat them with kindness and attention. I want to give without worrying about what I will get in return. I want my mind to feel comfortable, radiating love to the entire world. I want to gently hold myself to a higher standard without forcing or rushing. You know the inner work is paying off when you can see your ego trying to make a mess of things, but you have enough resilience and awareness to choose peace instead of chaos. Wisdom is when you notice that your emotions are heavy and overheated before other people do. You notice your passive-aggressive tone when it's starting, or when your choice of words becomes rougher. This is when you intentionally slow things down and treat yourself and others gently as the inner storm passes. Reminder: it is hard to connect well with other people when you are feeling exhausted and depleted. When your energy is low, the mind will want to revert to performative behavior that leads itself to superficial interactions. It takes energy to go deep, to give someone your presence. Intentionally disconnecting is powerful. Unfollowing, turning off social, and not responding to every message can boost your mental health. You don't always have to be on. Unconscious disconnection limits relationships. Intentional disconnection helps you find your center. Next time you think harshly of yourself or want to force yourself to grow, remember that the only way to move forward is organically. You are nature, and nature cannot help but flow at a genuine and unhurried pace. If you really want to speed things up, set goals, walk toward them without attachment, and peacefully align with actions that feed your inner harmony. After the cocoon period, when you are in full bloom, take advantage of this powerful energy. Create what your intention is asking you to. Stay open to new connections. Make the moves that will change your life. Do the hard things your capacity can handle. Live adventurously. If someone close to you is trying to make you act just like them, they are not loving you well. Thinking that your way is the ideal way is an ego trap that leads to pushing people away. We are not meant to be the same. To love well is to appreciate another's approach to life. Sometimes we go back to our old life for a little while to remember that it no longer fits. When you left, it was a shock because you told me we were going to build our lives together. Now I'm left with half a plan, a heart that feels torn, and the remnants of memories I no longer want. Success is so subjective that if you do not develop inner peace, you can find yourself chasing after it endlessly. Success will continue to take on new forms, each more tantalizing than the last, always pushing back the finish line. Don't let craving make you forget you are already whole. Feel it all, whatever may come up, even if the present hurts, even if the past is roaring. Heroes do not run away. Healing is not won easily. Feel wisely, without letting what is temporary control you. Acceptance makes real freedom possible. Old hurt sometimes burns as it leaves your being. Letting go can feel like an illness that leaves you shaken without fully knocking you down. The tension that was once deep inside finally found space to rise to the surface so that it could evaporate and no longer weigh on your mind. When the mind is turbulent, it becomes easy to drop logical and sensible thinking. Your anxiety and stress can create elaborate fictions in your mind. A strong emotion can attach itself to any little piece of information and build a wild story around it. The mind is quick to rely on imagination to keep the heavy reaction going. Fear and its manifestations push us to overanalyze and place us in unhealthy mental loops that increase our tension. This is common in all human beings. It is a pattern reinforced by our need to evade potential dangers. But if it goes unchecked, it can also burden the mind and create behavioral complexes that make life more difficult. Recognizing what it feels like when you are out of balance can help you cut the loop. Awareness is the light that helps break unconscious habit patterns. Similarly, training the mind to become comfortable in the present moment will help you have the strength to pull yourself out of imaginary negativity. You must get comfortable with turning your attention inward if you want to start living in a new way. When you become familiar with your own ups and downs, it will be easier to see when you are causing yourself misery. You need to do more than eat nourishing food, exercise, and rest to feel your best. You also need to be around good people. Spend time healing your emotional history. Live in alignment with your values. Say no to people pleasing. Stay open to growth and deeply embrace change. Realizing you spoke to someone harshly because you were agitated is actually a sign of progress. Before you can stop yourself from saying things you later regret, you must first notice yourself doing it. Self-awareness makes change behavior possible. Your intention will lead you outside your comfort zone so that you can grow. Confusion comes from being disconnected from your intuition. Learning to align with what feels right, not in the sense of following your cravings, but in the sense of moving forward, what supports your evolution and your highest good, is a necessary skill. There are two critical things to understand about intuition. The first is that it doesn't care about your comfort zone. It will ask you to be bold and valiant even if you do not feel ready. Just like love, intuition is a vehicle for growth. If you listen to it, it will help you reach new personal heights. But to get you there, you will have to face what is weighing you down to fully let it go. The second is that it may ask you to place yourself in difficult situations where you have to face your fears, but it will never ask you to hurt yourself. Intuition will invite you to be courageous, but it will not lead you into a reckless dead end. Attuning to your intuition is a personal process. For me, intuition feels like a calm knowing that appears in my body. If I don't listen to it at first, it will reappear sporadically with tranquil certainty. Intuition has a softness to it, even when it asks you to make bold moves. Intuition is quite different from the reactive rambles of the mind or moments of emotional appeal. While reactivity carries tension, intuition flows smoothly and steadily with information that can help you. 4 ways to remain in alignment. Do not listen to the feeling that you need to perform for others. Say no to situations that burn way too much of your energy. Surround yourself with people who love the authentic you. Let your intuition guide you, not your fears or cravings. The ability to feel is often seen as a burden combined with a blessing. It is not only one of the essential mediums that you use to navigate life in the world, but also where your greatest joys begin and your deepest sorrows take root. Heartache and happiness exist on different ends of the same spectrum of emotions. How you react to what you feel is often your greatest source of dissatisfaction and stress. More your past and present manifest themselves through your ability to feel. Your conditioning is not just something that is intellectual. It is also experienced through the sensations you feel in your body. How you feel often morphs from something that is meant to inform you into something that dominates the way you think and act. Healing and personal growth are grounded in establishing a new relationship with what you feel. The default for many is that they let their feelings make the decisions for them. This does not always yield the best results, because what you feel often dramatizes the narrative in your mind and leads you into making big decisions based on impermanent emotions. When you let your strongest emotions take center stage, it becomes easy to feel your own tension, like when you react to your anger with more anger, which simply makes the tension you feel bigger and bigger. We often react to the strong emotions by forgetting that the ever-present law of change ensures that what we feel in this moment will not last forever. A storm may be powerful, but no storm is endless. Giving space to what you feel is always valuable because it is an essential part of healing and letting go. But if you let it take control, then it will be too easy to fall into past patterns. Being with it is better than becoming it. There is a subtle space you should become more familiar with, the space where reclaiming your power is truly possible, the space where you can feel a fire burning within you without giving it more fuel. This spaciousness of mind becomes more valuable to you when you realize that your first reaction is just your past trying to recreate itself. Left unchecked, your reactions will keep you in a loop where you are looking at your present life through the lens of your past emotional history. If you keep giving power to your first impulse, then you will keep reacting the same way you have reacted in your past. This way of living leaves little room for growth and for anything new to emerge. The challenge you face is building enough self-awareness so that you can actively and repeatedly say no to your past when it wants to take over. Saying no to your past doesn't mean suppressing it. It just means that you will let yourself feel whatever has come up, but you make the choice to allow your present self to remain the dominant force. The days of letting your old fears and anxieties make all the decisions for you are over. A new time has arisen where you are patiently creating room so that your present self can decide what actions will keep you on a path that is truly nourishing and liberating. It is time to let the past rest and fully embrace the present. Your capacity for happiness quietly expands whenever you let yourself sit with your sorrow. When darkness no longer scares you, your mind will be able to perceive more light. Each moment you spend tending to your old wounds makes space for new peace. Each moment of forgiveness gives you new direct routes to joy. When you decide to let yourself feel unbind and let go, you naturally start receiving life with greater hands. The quest you take to free your heart from the past simultaneously elevates your future and improves your ability to love. Just because you feel a connection with them does not mean they are right for you. The hard truth is that you need more than a spark to build a home. Attraction is common, but fitting together like two pieces of a puzzle is rare. If something about their energy feels off or rough, that's your sign that building with them may not be the best idea. It is important to be kind and help when you can, but that doesn't mean everyone has a right to your time. Design a rejuvenating space for yourself. It is easy to get lost in an infinite space of hypotheticals. Instead of focusing too much on what if, ground yourself in what is. Your emotional history isn't just a set of memories. There are imprints in your subconscious, habit patterns and blockages caused by how you reacted to what you felt in the past. Healing is the binding and unloading of your emotional history through acceptance and letting go. Sometimes we want to feel safer before moving forward by developing a clear plan, but this is not always possible. Having a goal or intuitive hunch is often enough to justify moving in a new direction. Even if a full plan is possible, you must not become too attached as you move through your journey. Conditions change and unseen obstacles appear, requiring you to be flexible during the journey. Sometimes we want to feel safer before moving forward by developing a clear plan, but this is not always possible. Having a goal or intuitive hunch is often enough to justify moving in a new direction. Even if a full plan is possible, you must not become too attached as you move through your journey. Conditions change and unseen obstacles appear, requiring you to be flexible. During the journey, a lot of learning can happen. Taking in new experiences and data should inspire you to reassess your strategy so that you can be more effective. Not knowing how everything will play out can feel daunting, but having a goal that drives you can function as a light through the dark unknown. If you take mindful steps that align with your values, intentionally treating yourself and others compassionately, then you will undoubtedly end up in a good place. How long it takes matters much less than how much you learn and evolve as you move through the process. Real growth is from refraining making assumptions, so you can focus on observing, getting more information so that you can develop a well-rounded view is always better than letting yourself be dominated by an impulsive reaction. Tame your ego to let yourself see more. Healing places you on a trajectory. First, you focus on building self-awareness so that you can enhance your capacity to face your emotions, including those that are heavy and uncomfortable. This helps you see yourself more clearly as you move through your emotional spectrum and eventually understand how your emotions impact your actions. Once clarity increases to the point that your major patterns are revealed, you start the serious work of building positive habits, new, more intentional responses to life that free you from the past. As you learn to feel your emotions and better manage your reactions, the next empowering step is to bring harmony to your interactions, not by attempting to control others, but by maintaining a balanced energy even when others invite you to join their turbulence. Living in your peace will welcome others to choose peace as well. Aim to be a better person, not a perfect person. Don't fall into an attachment trap where your expectations of yourself are unreasonably high. Find the balance between raising the standard and not pushing yourself when mistakes or setbacks occur.